chipping off this nail polish. I grew out my nails really long, and then even with the top coat and everything to try and protect them, they started breaking, and I was like, well, I cut them short, but I didn't take the top coat off because I'm just kind of like picking at it. So that's what I'm doing right now while I tell you guys that I'm about to talk about J-Lo today. There are some things going down with J-Lo. I do not know what the hell is happening. Well, I do. I take that back. I do know. She's being dragged on the internet right now. All over the internet, people are just hating on this woman, talking about past experiences with her. There is so much drama surrounding this woman who's trying desperately to be relatable and failing miserably. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about that today. Put on a little makeup and hang out. And if that sounds cool, stick around because I'm about to get into it. But before I do, if you haven't already, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, come hang out on my channel. It'd be really great to have you here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. I'm gonna put my freaking hair up and I'll probably jump around all over the place, but listen, I've been on TikTok and I've been watching all of these videos and on YouTube as well. People are just talking about J-Lo and they're sick of her. They are over her claiming the block and all that stuff, and they're coming forward with their stories and their personal experiences about her, and it is not looking good. But it's certainly entertaining. For those of you who don't know, I waited on J-Lo long time ago, back at that restaurant that I worked at for many years. Too many, actually, but I didn't have the same experience these people are having. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it today and just kind of like hang out and put on a little makeup so I can, yeah, we're gonna do something with this. I don't know what kind of deal J-Lo has with Amazon, but she has movie after movie coming out on Amazon Prime, and I don't think that many of them are doing well. The main buzz that started all this for the recent movies that she had put out were, what was it? The Greatest Love Story Never Told and This Is Me Now. I think This Is Me Now is like a long music video that is incredibly confusing, and she's doing these dance moves and all these different transitions and things like that. I mean, visually it looks kind of cool, but it's also just kind of, look, it's all about how freaking awesome she is, and there's no substance to it. It is, to me anyway, my perspective is just, look how freaking amazing I am as I dance around and sing to this giant heart that's broken and I'm trying to fix it, and I'm going to talk about all the people that I've loved in the past, and I don't know, to me it's just like this giant ego trip more than anything else. There's nothing that's really that meaningful about any of it, and it shows in the ratings. I think she got like half a star on one of these, or maybe both of the movies, and people just aren't digging J-Lo right now. So she posts this thing because she's really just trying to win the hearts of everyone again. I think she's just trying to get that likability and that acceptance of everyone. Just see me as a regular person. So she's posting this stuff on TikTok, and dude, it's not going well. And the memes about this are freaking crazy. I don't know how much of this I can play, but I'm gonna play some of it so we can get an idea of, if you haven't seen, get an idea of what I'm talking about.
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. A crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams.
Okay. I truly have left this woman alone for years. I have just been annoyed in silence since high school. And guess what? I'm a Puerto Rican woman from the Bronx who went to the same high school as you, and you're lying. I saw your high school photo. You did not have hair like that. And we also both attended an all-girls Catholic high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood. So you weren't running up and down the block. You know damn well you were sitting next to Megan Farley and Christine Marchetti in class. Why are you lying? Please stop.
That's just a couple of videos that we're gonna look at today because, listen, people know this lady. I mean, to think that she's gonna go ahead and post this stuff and get away with it is just, it's giving delusional. She went back to her home. She went back to where she grew up.
My name is Jennifer. Yeah, I used to live, and then my room was upstairs right there. Jennifer Lopez.
Who's Jennifer Lopez?
Me. I used to live here.
Remember, she's still just Jenny from the block.
Jennifer Lopez.
Who's Jennifer Lopez?
Me. I used to live here.
He forgot. Huh? The guy doesn't even know who the hell she is. You're like, and she's trying to, oh my gosh. It's like, I'm cringing for her, seriously. But I don't know that she even realizes I mean, I guess she does, because she did post a video where people are giving her a hard time again because she's, you know, on camera and she's crying, or it looks like she's kind of trying to cry, but she's not really succeeding at it, and it's just not looking good for her.
And are canceling her after her latest documentary. In the viral clip where she was trying to seem relatable to the Bronx by messing her hair,
I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. A crazy little girl.
but the Bronx rejected her.
We are sick of you. You don't do shit for us. Stop using us to look human. Stop using us to look relatable. Keep our names out of your mouth. We're not running up and down the block.
After the backlash she received, she tried to seem more relatable and showed herself crying, but people called her tears crocodile tears and said she's out of touch.
So let me share with you guys my encounter with J-Lo many, many years ago. When I was working at that breakfast place, she came in with a big group of people, and she wasn't married to Ben Affleck at the time. It was like early 2000s, something like that. She'd already done the movie. She'd already been a fly girl. She was already very successful. For me personally, she wasn't mean at all. We had like 3 or 4 people that were serving the table at the time. She sat down. She said, please, thank you. She didn't, because there's a lot of people saying that she will not even say anything, look you up and down, and then sick her bodyguards on you and all that stuff. Or go into a restaurant and be incredibly rude. I saw a TikTok on that too. If I can find it, I'll post it so you guys can see it.
J-Lo is the type of celebrity that if you ever cross her path or you run into her, she will leave you feeling icky and like you need to take a shower because her energy is just that awful, that dark, and that gross. So anyways, I frequent Vegas a lot, primarily Aria, and my friend who worked at Aria was servicing the high roller table, and in the high roller section of Aria, there's like the section where it's like you have the slots, and then you have like the tables, and then you have like the back rooms, which are like the privates rooms. Anyways, in the high roller area, J-Lo was there, and I think it was her bodyguard and her manager or someone else, and you know they were playing, and I think it was playing poker, and you know she was ordering food and drinks. So my friend was like her server and was giving her food and drinks. Now she gets up to go, and my friend runs after her because it's like you know, you have to pay the bill. And you know, the thing is, if you have a host and you have comps, then the host will tell the waitress or the waiter like, hey, this person has comps and this is how much it is. Like that is how it works in the high roller section, or even if you're not a high roller. Like, so anyways, it's not like it was comped. So she runs after her and is like, hey, sorry, you forgot the bill. And J-Lo looks at my friend up and down and goes, do you know who I am? No, because you know how delusional you have to be? Like, who the cares who you are? You're dining and dashing. So my friend is like, I'm sorry, Miss Lopez, but like, you can't just not pay the bill. You can't just walk out. And she literally looks her up and down, rolls her eyes, and walks away. So anyways, my friend starts freaking out because I think the bill is like $300-$400. But her bodyguard comes back in, hands her cash, and goes, don't worry, and pays the bill, and then says keep the change, and walks out.
People who are famous or well off or have some kind of popularity going for them, a lot of times it will go to their head. I guess people can't handle that kind of fame. I don't really know what the hell it is. I'm not famous. I have no freaking clue. But it does happen a lot. And when she came into the restaurant, she was super chill. She didn't even stay for the whole meal, honestly. And she was nice to everybody. They did end up tipping. If she were rude in any way or they didn't tip or anything like that, there are a lot of things I forget. But these things I remember. I can think of people in general, non-celebrity, that have been horrible to me over the years, waiting tables. It's burned into my freaking brain. It will never go away. I would have remembered if she hadn't left a tip. So everything went fine for me. Thank God. Because, you know, I hate when things like that happen, when people who are successful or even not, you just, you know, come into a place of business like that, they see someone with a name tag or an apron and they just feel like they can treat them like garbage because they're, you know, making a living there and they have to put up with their crap. I've never been a fan of that kind of behavior and I never will be. But she wasn't like that for me, but there are plenty of people that will say that she is like that for them. And it's actually kind of sad to hear. There's one individual here, this gentleman, that's talking about his experience with J-Lo when he was a kid and she came back to the block to visit. And I want you guys to hear this one, at least some of it, so you can get an idea of just how crazy this is all becoming and just some of the things this woman has done that just really freaking surprised amazing.
Since everybody's talking about Jennifer Lopez and this clip, I thought I would also share my childhood trauma involving meeting this woman for the first time on the block. I'm gonna give you some brief background information about where the block is and my story, just so you know what's going on. So, fun fact about me, I used to go to the school that J-Lo's mother taught at, that J-Lo herself attended. It was Holy Family School in the Bronx. And notice how I said was. I'll get back to that later. I was not present when J-Lo's mom was there. She just retired. And I believe the reason why she retired was because she won $2.4 million in a lottery. And she was like, bye, which is completely understandable. I also went to the same pizza place she would go to, Cross Bronx Pizza, because it was just down the block.
Okay, let me say, I did look that up, and Google, according to Google or Wikipedia or whatever, she won $2.4 million in a casino. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go off, he says the lottery, Google says it was a casino, but J-Lo's mom was already this girl talks about how she's rough, hard times on the block, and her mom had $2.4 million back when that was happening, back in the day times, back on the block. That was a lot of freaking money. It's still today a lot of freaking, I'd love to have that. I want to win the lottery desperately. I think that would be amazing. But I haven't. But J-Lo's mom did. So are they really struggling? She tries to make it sound like the struggles of being on the block. Anyway, she won that's a lot of money. Okay.
And I also went to the same after-school program that she went to, the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club. Went for a couple months and I didn't like it, but that's another whatever. And as you can see here, the pizza place, the school, and the Boys and Girls Club are all on Castle Hill Avenue in the Bronx. And this is what I think she refers to as the block. Now on to the main event. It is 2002, if I remember correctly, around the winter time, leaving school, it's dismissal time. I'm walking down the stairs and I notice a huge crowd and I'm like, what's going on? I did not know who Jennifer Lopez was. I was kind of a nerdy child and the music phase didn't really hit me until about the 8th grade. My way finally to the first floor, and as I turn the corner, I just see kids getting pushed, punted into the building. Get back in the building by these two big men who are obviously bodyguards. I didn't know that. And next thing you know, I'm getting pushed also into the floor, and I fell next to the staircase, and I'm just like, what is happening? And that's when I catch a glimpse of this woman, not acknowledging anything that's happening. She's walking between her bodyguards, and then she's out the door. Flash forward a couple of minutes, and my concussion subsided, and I picked up all of my belongings, and I made my way out of the front door of the school over here, and I wanted to go to my favorite pizza place down the street because I had 50 cents, and I knew a pizza roll would help me forget about this whole thing. Then I noticed the large crowd outside, and I was like, it's never that busy there. And then I realized that woman was probably inside of the establishment, so I was like, forget this, I'm gonna get on the city bus and go to my aunt's house. And that's when my aunt and my cousins told me that woman was Jennifer Lopez. So I actually found this article from 2002, and even back then, people were saying that she's a phony and a fake and doesn't do anything for the block. Kind of freaking out because this article is about that day. Look, she visited Holy Family School for the cameras. And then she went to the Cross Bronx Pizza shop. Here it is. Bodyguard shoved excited kids out of the way, residents said, leaving one tiny fan in tears. See, I wasn't lying about that. And the reason why I said was Holy Family School is because the school is gone now. As of last year, it had to close its doors. And look, am I saying that J-Lo should be required to donate money to all the places that she grew up with? No. But when you make it your whole personality that you grew up from the Bronx and you went to this school, and how you loved going to this pizza place or that dance studio, and you don't give no money to any of these places, but it's your whole personality, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I didn't have to, I'm doing that all wrong. Let me get a little more product here. I'm glad I didn't have that experience, but a lot of people are coming forward and they're giving their, like I said, they're putting in their 2 cents. Everyone's got something to say. And there are people that are trying to do, I think her PR, they're trying to do damage control. So she does this other interview, and you can tell by her demeanor that she's just not the gracious, chill person she wants you to believe that she is. But she has this interview where people come over to her house, they're asking her questions. And if you just look at her face, you could tell, come on. It's like, girl, it's your mask is slipping and people can see it. Let me play the video.
Great to see you, Jennifer Lopez.
Hey.
What a dream. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to answer 73 questions today?
10.
I knew it. And I'm excited to be here in LA with you. Thanks for having me. What would you say is the biggest difference between here and the Bronx?
The size of my closet?
And what's one word to describe the Bronx?
Cool.
Very cool.
Come on in.
All right, thank you. What would you say is the biggest impact that New York has had on you?
It's made me who I am.
And what was your go-to order at the bodega?
My go-to order at the bodega was ham and cheese on a roll with an orange drink, if you know, you know, and a small bag of chips.
That sounds like the J-Lo special to me.
You want some tea?
I love that rhyme there. Sounds like the J-Lo special to me. You want some tea?
All right, let's get into your past. Do you remember performing for your family when you were a kid?
Every holiday.
Do you remember the first musical you ever saw on Broadway?
Dreamgirls?
Classic.
Yeah,
And do you think we'll ever see you in a musical on Broadway?
I hope so.
Good Lord. I don't know. Listen, so I'm not going to play the whole video, obviously. It's a bit much, but you can just tell by the demeanor that she feels like she's above it and should just be loved and accepted regardless of her bad attitude. In fact, her bad attitude should be considered normal and appreciated because she is, in fact, Jenny from the block. The memes that they're doing for the hummingbirds, I'm going to try and find it and post it so you guys can see, but the hummingbird video is getting just completely trashed, and I have to admit, watching the video myself, it looks these movies, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but God, I'd love to know your opinion on it. Have you seen them? Do you know? I'm sure eventually this is all going to blow over. People will forget because that's, you know, what the internet's like. They forget and they move on and they, you know, go to the next thing. She's just J-Lo. And she had what seems to me, and maybe in the beginning things were a little rough. Maybe in her childhood she might have had some moments. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like she didn't really have too terrible of a life. And then her mom wins like $2 million. I don't know. She got the Fly Girl thing. She did the cheerleading thing. She got famous pretty early. She did the Selena movie, which I really liked. But now it's kind of like she's so out of touch.
Bitch. Whatever.
J-Lo is a no-go, and that's okay. We're fine with that. I think that she needs to go ahead and figure out that it's time to leave the party. A lot of these people that are in entertainment for a long time don't know when to hop off the ride. And it must be difficult, you know, you gotta let go of all that we love you and you're in the spotlight, and then, you know, to reach the high heights and then go down to the low lows. J-Lo lows. It's gotta be rough, but love for J-Lo. I don't know. I can have compassion and understanding to a certain degree, but listen, if you're a jerk and you're being freaking rude to people, eventually you're gonna get yours. So let's all try to be nice. That is the moral of the story for today. And let me know if you watch the movies. Let me know what you think of the look, and I just want to thank you for hanging out with me. You know, I know everything's like cuckoo crazy, but sometimes it's nice to just sit down and talk about rich people and how problematic they are, because it makes me feel better about myself. I like the finished look. This little alfalfa sprout is, I don't know. I'm gonna wear a hat and I'm gonna get on with my life and do my errands and all that stuff. But I'm so glad I got to hang out with you guys because it's always fun. Let me know what you think in the comments. I can't wait to talk to you. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me today, kids. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.